have 4 to 3 pawns on one side, healthy pawn structure on one side. And we have to choose one piece to have on the board. What will be your numerical value of each piece that it has to stay? We have the queen, the rook, the knight, and the bishop. Which is best, which is the worst, from 1 to 4? What do you think? Let me check you a little bit.
Knight the best. Knight the best.
Knight is the best.
Queen the worst.
Queen the worst. The other? One knight, 2?
Bishop, rook, queen.
Bishop, rook, queen. Okay. Come on.
It's 3 versus 3?
No, 4 to 3.
4 to 3.
3 to 3 probably will not so important. But you keep.
Probably a knight.
Probably a knight. Second?
Why? Because it's possible to open over maybe knight. If it was combined with the queen, then it's very difficult for black to hold. Let's say knight versus queen versus knight and queen and 4 to 3.
No, I mean, you have the same piece.
Okay.
Knight against knight.
Just one piece.
One piece. Knight against knight. Queen against queen. That's what.
Knight's winning.
Knight's winning.
Yeah.
No?
Okay, and
It should
just
be
a
a
moment.
draw
Just a
anyway.
moment. We have dispute. I will be the arbiter. And second?
Rook is draw, but it depends on pawns. Bishop.
Okay, maybe the queen because
Oh,
it's
just a
easier.
moment. One by one, please.
Maybe queen, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Your worst piece to keep?
What?
The worst piece to keep?
Bishop.
Bishop.
Well, depends on the structure. I mean,
Healthy structure. Healthy structure. E, F, G,
Maybe.
H, healthy. We don't speak about
so
special
maybe the
conditions.
queen because it's easier to go to the pawn endgame. So it's easier to exchange the queens.
Well, I will ask you something to understand the difference.
The rooks, it's a draw.
What do you think about this? This is easier or with the pawn on G6? What is easier to make a draw?
I think it's draw.
The pawn on G6?
No,
Of course, it's
this
easier.
position.
This
Well,
is
G6 should be easier.
With G6 is easier.
No,
Should be. No?
Now, listen, I'm hearing. I'm collecting. I'm collecting ideas.
This one is easy.
This one is easier. Can you explain me?
Somebody told me that.
Okay, but now you're the teacher.
Yeah.
You're the trainer. You cannot tell to your trainee, somebody told me somewhere, one very nice night, when we were sitting down of the moon, he said me, do you know that this game is draw? Come on.
It's more difficult to make the pass for me.
Aha, this is a nice explanation. This is the explanation you should tell, because you cannot create a passed pawn. By this pawn, by this silly pawn formation, you can't create a passed pawn. So actually this heading is more easy to roll for black than the pawn on G6. And if the pawn was on G6, what do you do? How you identify the position as draw? You see, you don't have to make very big analysis, but you have to get some clear points in order to understand this position. If it is white to play, let's say it is white to play, you have to identify when it's draw, when it's chances of winning or winning, depends.
White's move.
Let's say it's white move. Could be black move, but you have to say that if it is black, if it is white, is there any difference? If it is Wilson move, maybe there is no difference. Excuse me? G4. And what is the idea behind G4?
To keep two weaknesses, because if he goes H5, it's easier for him to reduce the number of pawns.
Mm-hmm. And what do you want to do with G4? I don't understand.
Well, G4 you can simply play rook E5.
One by one. I want to hear you, but we have to respect the lady. She is talking.
I want to win.
You want to win? Me too.
No. To create more weaknesses in the plan.
How? How?
Well, if I,
You know it, but you don't know how to express it. Yes?
I will to block the H pawn, that he can move so easily and to decide the pawn structure, then I can see more easily how to create a passport.
Pass pawn, how to create? G4 helps you to create a pass pawn?
Yes.
How? I don't
To
understand.
limit his pawn moves.
Maybe, could be, but this is, you limit his pawn moves, but you cannot
And
win by only this.
To create separating pawns, maybe H and G, if he pushes H5, you will have 2 pawn islands, and it will be more weak pawns. Weaker pawns.
So what is the winning idea is that we have to play G4 here, but the main thing is that we should go H5 with our rook on A5. It's important, so in order to take with the rook in H5.
But now the black can play rook e5, so.
Rook E5 is not so big deal. We'll go with King G3. F4 will kick it out.
And I'll
Before
play
Rook D5.
H5. I'll play myself.
I'll play H4. If you play H5, I play G5. There is no problem.
That should be a draw.
Because now, no, it's not a draw. Because they have the F5, and I will create E pass pawn. Because I will take on G6, and we have weakness, and my E pawn will be passed. This is the only way to make a passed pawn. But the idea, I don't say that it's completely winning. I say the chances to winning are very much increasing. It depends how you're gonna play white. Practice have shown that white usually wins this position if he plays G4 and he knows the plan. He goes H4, H5, black he will have to take H5, and then we go to very famous analysis by Capablanca where he analyzed this game with 3 against 2 separated, where he made 5 or 6 very bad mistakes, but they didn't found it until some 10 years ago. Now we know how both of them can play better. The white rook should be on the d5 in order to protect the rook and go to d8 in some certain moment. There is a big analysis in this setting how you have to win it. And there are a lot of endgame books, so it's not a matter to tell you. But this is a kind of plan what we are using. You show to your pupil, to your students, a lot of plans in this position, how he has to extract the maximum in order to know positions. And for example, you have to show him a very critical position. What is the critical position? I mean, goes in many lines, how you draw this position, let's say. Okay, you go something, I don't know, waiting for you wait something, let's say like this, I don't even care. The computer doesn't want to obey in a way. So you really go somewhere. I'm just playing for fun.
Not this way.
I know, I just want to show you this critical position. You have to show him this critical position. This is the base of all editing, of this setting. Okay, he has to know this position, either for white, either for black. To know this trick and draw. Doesn't matter, the rook can be from E1 or E8. But it's the only way to draw. So he has to know 1, 2 critical stuff in each heading. And then you have to explain the ideas which is more detailed. But if he doesn't know this critical position, the other critical position which is 4 or H5, then he will not extract the maximum of what color he is. He has to know 1 or 2 critical positions. That's what we mean. So back to my question. The statistics shows that knight has maybe 75 to 80% winning chances, 4 to 3. So it's the best piece. The second one is the queen, goes more than 60 to 65%. The third one is the rook, goes about to 50%, depends on the formation. And the worst percentage is bishops, where nearly everything finishes in a draw. You know, that's the main thing. So we have an information, you know, if you get this scale, immediately your trainee gets an information how he can treat his middle game. If he's in danger, if he wants to go, if he wins a pawn in one heading to go. So in a way, his knowledge of the end game and what he wants in the end game affects his middle game. If he has no knowledge, then he will not know what to do in the middle game. He will only play for mate. If he doesn't get a mate, he will never do anything in the ending because he has no knowledge on that, and it's not his fault. Very simply, we cannot accuse no time our trainees for for things that they don't know. We have to ask ourselves if we teach him. Distant pass pawn is half the victory. Okay, it's too general, but we see that especially in, not especially, even in non-leadings, distant pawn gives very good chances of the victory, especially in pawn endings, it's more than half a victory. Pass pawn should be advances as rapidly as possible. Okay, let me make you another question. Let's say that you have a position that you have a pass pawn, and the pass pawn, which is very well covered, is protecting pass pawn, and there is question now. What about exchanges? If you are forced to exchange, both sides we speak now, because when we see a positional element, we can never talk about only one side. We have to see for both sides because we don't know which side we're gonna have in the game. So we have to know with both sides what we should do. What is good for the arm side is bad for the other side, and the opposite. This is the normal. We see very quickly against Spassky Petrosyan, and I told you that Spassky was preferring to lose a pawn than to exchange the queen and the heavy pieces. You remember it? It's the same stuff. The passed pawn, when we have the passed pawn, we must exchange the light pieces because the light pieces are good blockaders. And there is another one reason. If we exchange the heavy pieces here as white, then we give black an extra piece to play. It's the king. The king can easily blockade the pawn himself because he is not be threatened by the heavy pieces. So actually we are losing a piece if we exchange this kind of stuff. So you have to know, this one is the first explanation when you try to teach the passed pawn. What to exchange, why not to exchange? You remember, with every exchange, something losing. It's a rule. You like it or not, it's a rule. I like it or not, it's a rule. It came from all these years that we played chess. So we have all the time to think. Every positional element, we start from the exchanges. What to exchange in this positional element, what not to exchange. So this one you have to know. You don't have to show them games. Let's go to see how is the game. How you will explain them the game Spassky Petrosyan, why he gave a pawn. Did he calculate Spassky? I can assure you he was too lazy to calculate. If you know Spassky, you will understand the guy was playing on this game strongly. He calculated in 1 or 2 times when he had to calculate. But on the other, he played according to the knowledge he had when he was young. He knew that finished. I should not exchange queen. I don't care if I lose a lousy pawn on a2.
But later he had the team behind him to calculate.
Okay, this is something different. This is something different. But this is how it goes. Every positional element, you have to know what to exchange, what not to exchange, and how to treat it. What I told you about the king, that's why chess still is a very complicated game. Because suddenly we understand that if we exchange the heavy pieces, then the king is a very nice defender. Suddenly it's an extra piece to play. We can never win this position if we keep only the light piece on the board. So immediately we get a very nice information with this pawn structure. I had in my mind, that's why I want to show you the example. And here, of course, there is no point to do anything for white, but I try to create another weakness, the d pawn. The pass pawn will go later. So we play a4 in order to create some weakness, and now black played the worst move that he could play on the board. And after this move, what he played, he's lost. What? 95. But you understand now why it's the worst move? Exactly, that's enough. If you ask the computer, he proposed 95. And he keeps some equality. Yeah, position is equal but lost. You know, this is the point that computers cannot help you because they cannot calculate 20, 25. No, he don't play immediately. After this, he played 95. But what he should play is the question. What do you put? Immediately you find a good move. Queen e4, of course. We said it before. You don't have really in this position, if you know the rule, to wonder, should I play 95 or queen e4? Should I play something else? What my teacher told me. Exchange heavy pieces. What's the heaviest piece that I can exchange? The queen. White is forced to exchange the queen. Then we exchange the queen, the king goes to d6 slowly. Okay, black has an acceptable position. Maybe he's slightly worse, because white can play a5, can create something, but it's acceptable for black. But after 95, it's not only not acceptable, lost. After like this, during the game I was thinking that I could play something else, rook b1, but what I thought, can I defend if he plays rook e3? Maybe. But I have to calculate very much, and maybe I didn't see something. Okay, if I lose one move, the position will change? No. So let's lose one move. Doesn't matter if we win after rook e3, don't give him any chance. Lose one move, he has no counterplay, bye-bye. Now if he exchanges like this, it's possible, but it doesn't work, because still white kept the heavy piece. He will play a5, rook b2, or he will penetrate from the a5. He's much better to win this position. So okay, the black collapsed very quickly, I would say. Really in this position, he lost everything. He tried something, but it is lost position. It doesn't matter so much what happened in reality in all these games, but the idea is important. To teach the idea, what to keep, what to throw away. It's a very valuable information during the game. You will start to make correct plans, because you ask from your trainees, make a plan, and he will tell you, okay, based on what info. But he will not tell you, because he doesn't want to tell you. Most of the trainees, they don't want really to ask you such questions. But he will think, okay, what the guy is telling me, I mean, I have no info in this position. Very simple, you have to feed with the info, and then you have to ask to make all these plans and things. So you see, everything what is written here has a meaning. If you compare it on your knowledge you have to have. Doubled, isolated, blockaded pawns are weak, avoid them. This seems that we have to avoid every time. Okay, generally we have to avoid, except if we have good compensation for it. You can never be happy about pawn structural weaknesses. You can be happy about the compensation having for them. If the compensation says goodbye, you will stay with the weakness. The easiest endings to win are pure pawn endings. Still, most of the players fears them. They don't want to go in pawn endings. This is a very strange psychological question. Why it happens? Well, everybody believes that even if they make a mistake in some other endings, he can make something about it later. They know very well that in pawn endings, mistakes cannot really taken back. So everybody afraid of the responsibility, and because they are sure they don't know very well endings. But work with them. If they don't know, of course they will not go. Passed pawn should be blockaded by the king. The only piece that is not harmed by watching a pawn is the knight. Two bishops versus bishop and knight constitute an intangible advantage. Okay. This is not 100% sure, but practice, as we saw yesterday in statistics, show that it works good. Bishops are better than knights in all except block pawn positions. Good, we know it. The Capablanca rule is do not place your pawns on the color of your bishop. Capablanca rule. Okay, he said it first. I'm sure that a lot of people noticed it, but he was first to form it. He was a lucky one. The easiest endings to draw are those with bishop of opposite colors. This, of course, everything according to statistics. Rooks belong behind passed pawns. Very nice. We have forget it 1,000 times in our life. I'll just remind you. You know what is your main strength to teach correct chess. You can use your bad examples. Everybody has a lot of bad examples. That we look at our example and say, how I did that. How the hell I did that in my life? You could not believe it. So, but in this way, you created some material for the future. You know, so this material is useful. Use it. Say, listen, I made a mistake. You have to learn from my experience. Don't repeat it. Let's see how I made the mistake, so you don't repeat it. So you offer a lot of things, and you get excuse for your mistakes. From my mistake also. Okay, I made the most. A rook on the 7th rank is sufficient compensation for a pawn. Not all rook endings are drawn. This is an answer to Mr. Taras, as you understand. Because the guys were very angry that the guy was saying all rook endings are drawn, all rook endings. So the guy said not all rook endings are drawn. Perpetual check looms in all queen endings. This is normal. And every move in the game is of the utmost importance because you are close to the moment of truth. This is very nice philosophy, if you think it. In the middle game, you can play one or two mistakes, but in the end, in the middle game wins who makes the one but the last. In the ending, you don't have time to repulse your mistake. It's really very difficult. So, who plays well endings, especially nowadays where we have the limited time, it's quite problematic. There is no point to discover anything anymore in the endings because you don't have the time to. 20 years ago, we had the adjournments, we had a lot of time, we were playing 16 moves for 1 hour, okay. I remember that I played one game that lasted 20 hours by adjourning it. The whole tournament I was facing my opponent every morning, we say after breakfast, we're taking breakfast together, we're going to play 16 moves. We adjourn again, every morning we see each other, we play the afternoon hour game, very nice, we spend all the tournament together. You know? And in the end it was a draw. What can we do? But we were so tired of playing every morning that both of us played awfully in the tournament because we don't have power to play in the afternoon. Okay, that was completely different times. Nowadays, someone who doesn't knows at games, understand, it's also a nice word, but the study comes from knowledge. Someone who doesn't know the endings, he cannot really play with this time control we are using, with the 30 seconds. Either you know it, either forget it. Simply. So the knowledge on the game nowadays is of the utmost importance. He has to play like a machine. And like a machine, I don't think he has to be smart for it. He just has to be educated. To know the certain things and to make certain analysis. As the game I saw you yesterday with 3-3 with the A-pawn, there is nothing to discover there. Everything has been discovered. What you have to know is some critical positions because you can't remember everything. Impossible, forget it. But you have to know the critical position, what to avoid and what not to avoid. You see it 1-2 times, you try to understand why they play this move and why they play this plan, and then in the game you hope that you will make it correctly. Simply. Otherwise, you're simply lost. If you're the pawn's minus, and probably you will not win it if you have the extra pawn.